up an altar. Hi, I'm Sandra from mysterywitchschool.com, and if you're new to this channel and you want to know more about Wicca and witchcraft and how to practice it and how to train, hit the subscribe button below so that you don't miss anything. In this video I'm going to show you how you can set up your altar both on a daily basis and if you're going to be setting up a full circle to be doing a rite or doing some magic. So first things first, if you're setting up an altar on a daily basis, it really depends on, of course, where you live, who you live with, and what you have available to you in regards to space. It is great and preferable if you can set up, have an altar that's there for you, available to you every day, where you can go every day and do your daily practice so that you're building the energy in that space. If you don't have that, then you need to be more flexible, of course, in what you do. So if you are able to have a space, you can use a coffee table, you can use a side table, you could use a desk. If you are having to be a bit more flexible, you may use a tile and have that on the ground and use that as your altar space. So you can just get it out, whip it out when you're doing some work, and then you can put it away again with your tools. Some people use drawers, and they'll pull out a drawer and they've got little bits of altar set up in a drawer. So it really depends on what you have available to you. Great to have a permanent altar, but not necessary. So don't get too concerned if you can't have a permanent altar because of your living situation. It's perfectly okay. When you do have your altar set up, it really just depends on what you're using it for. So on a daily basis, it's really very simple. All you really need to have on your altar is something that helps you transfer from the mundane mindset to the spiritual, sacred, magical mindset. That could be as simple as having a candle on your altar. You might also like to have deity images or symbols of a deity that you may be working with at that time, or it may be a matron or a patron deity, depending on what you're doing. I have here a statue of Hecate, so I would have her on the altar as well. If you're working with the god and goddess, and you may have two candles set up, so you may have one representing the goddess and one representing the god. So it would be, say, silver for the goddess and gold for the god, or you may have a different colour for the goddess, like blue or black, or you might use yellow or white for the god. I like to have a third one in there, which is the seasonal candle. So if it's Beltane, a green candle would go in there, and the green would stay there until the summer solstice, in which case it would change to blue. But you don't have to do that. It's just something that I like to do to remind myself of the seasons, the seasonal changes. Your altar cloth can also be seasonally related, or it can just simply be something that you enjoy having as a colour. If it's something that you're doing on a daily basis, it really is up to you. You might want to go with themes, seasonal themes for your colours, or you may just want to go with something that is more general, and it really depends on what your focus is. So that's for a daily practice where you're not setting up a circle every day. That's really all you need. If you were setting up a circle, of course you need some more things to set up the circle with. So in which case you would have your salt, your bowl of salt and your bowl of water. Now that's to consecrate them both, bless them both, put the salt into the water so that you have salt water, and then you go and you cleanse the space with the salt water. Some people will use the cup instead of a bowl of water, so you're using the cup to do the watering, the salt watering of your space with. Depending on what you're setting your circle up for, if it's for a ritual, for a Sabbath, or if it's for full moon or new moon, or whether it's for magic, will determine what you do there. Your cup otherwise may be full of wine or milk or juice or whatever it is that you're using, depending on the season. So if you're doing a Sabbath, the cup may be full of wine for a particular Sabbath, or it may be full of milk for other Sabbaths, depending on what the theme and what the food and drink is corresponding to for that Sabbath. If you're setting up the space for a spell, you really just need to have the water and the salt. So you can choose whether you use your cup for the water or you use a water bowl for your water. You will have your athame, of course, and the athame symbolising the element of air in most traditions. In other traditions it symbolises the element of fire. It's a masculine tool, so it goes on the masculine side. Then we have the wand, which is also masculine or fire in most traditions. Other traditions it is air, so it depends on what tradition you're in. You've got there, and your pentacle, your pentagram, which is representing earth. So you've got water, you've got earth, you've got air, and you have fire. And you also have your incense, which you may use a censer, or you may be using stick incense, depending on what you've got. And that would be used, of course, to also consecrate the circle with fire and air. And then you have everything you need for, and your spell materials will also go on your altar. Now, it depends on what type of spell you're doing as to how many materials you'll have in the spell, as to how much space you have on your altar too. So you may find that you need to maybe not have the daily candles there. You may not need a working candle, depending on whether you're doing it in daylight or whether you're doing it at night, to give you more space on your altar. So be flexible when it comes to space. But generally speaking, that is how you would set up a practical altar. You may have flowers on your altar if it's a seasonal celebration or rite, or anything that reminds you of that season that you're using. If it's just for yourself, the altar can be very simple. Generally, an altar that's used in a group will be bigger and it will have more on it. But that's it. And if you want to know if you want to train in Wicca and witchcraft, and you're serious about trying to find a way of being able to set up a practice without being overwhelmed by all of the information out there, I have a 12-month training course that you can do in a group environment. It's an online program, but you also get to be part of a Facebook group, and you have access to me twice a month for question and answer sessions, and it takes you through a full year of Wicca and witchcraft training, a total roadmap as to where to start and how to keep going. The information for that is in the description field below. If you like this video, please hit the like button, share it with your friends, don't forget to comment, and I will see you on the next video. Blessed be.